Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're interested in seeing how I created this Akasha cosplay, then keep watching. I decided to take it from the top on this cosplay and start from the crown, necklace, and work my way down. So whenever I look at a full item on a cosplay, my brain breaks it down into pieces and sees how many I need and how to make them. Her crown does look simple, but it is very complicated once you break it down to all the small little details. It wasn't as difficult as it looks because some of the pieces, like the coins in between her crowns, do repeat themselves, so I just had to count each piece and replicate them. I sketched each piece by hand on EVA foam and then cut them out and duplicated all the pieces that repeated. After that, I got my foam clay and added some on there with a little bit of water to add some depth and dimension. The most important piece to this crown is the wire frame that's holding everything together. You want to make sure you grab something that's flexible but also durable. I went to Hobby Lobby and got multiple different kinds of wire. They have the best prices, and you're also going to need these jewelry pliers to help you bend everything. I also just happened to have a foam head laying around, but I highly recommend using this. This definitely helped me when it came to support and shaping. This was my initial attempt at the framing of the crown, and it was coming out great, but once I added my pieces to it, they went a little too far back. As you can see, the pieces on top of her head fan out and sit up straight forward, so I had to go back to the drawing board. If at first you don't succeed, you guys know the rest. You can see the new frame sitting just how I want, and in the background is the old one that I ditched. My pieces lined up perfectly, so now it's time to add the detail. One of the most challenging parts of the cosplay was to find a clear photo of her crown or details. This movie came out in 2002, so it was very hard to do. I had to zoom in the best I could and replicate the detail by hand with foam clay on each individual piece. There was only so much detail I could do by hand with foam clay, so for the intricate pieces, painting them gold just wasn't enough. I was lucky enough to find these gold, silver, and bronze flakes at Hobby Lobby, and I decided to adhere them onto some of the pieces, and it just added more detail and made them pop. Okay, y'all, look, it was giving replica, not just a regular cosplay crown. I love the way it was just coming together. It's just chef's kiss. Just a little important side note, I highlighted these pieces red so you can see what I'm talking about. These pieces do move, they are a little bit flexible. I did not secure them down tightly because I wanted them to be able to move and take the shape and form of my forehead just like hers does. I took this test footage here with my Sony, and I just wanted to film it up close in direct lighting so you guys can see all the detail. Now that the crown is complete, time to move on to the even more intricate necklace. We are just going to go ahead and rinse and repeat here. Everything we've just done for the crown, we're going to do the same thing for the necklace. I'm going to break this necklace into all its parts, and then I'm going to draw them onto the EVA foam. I'm going to repeat all the pieces that I need, cut them out, get them assembled, and lay them all out accordingly. That way I can figure out how they'll need to be placed. Because I have everything sped up, it's so hard for you guys to see how much time I've put into making the detail on these pieces. It really is so much work, so just make sure you pace yourself, give yourself grace, and if something messes up, don't worry, you can just remake it. I've had to do that so many times, so this is my message to just hang in there if you're trying this. I can't express to you guys how important it is to have multiple reference photos. I used this one and drew some lines where I needed the beads to be, got some beads from Hobby Lobby and Michael's, and I strung them through wires. That way they can hold the integrity of the necklace and sit exactly where I need them to sit. All of the other pieces were coming out perfectly, but I was running into an issue. I could not find beads like this anywhere, so I figured I'm just gonna have to go ahead and make it. So I grabbed some polymorph, melted it down, and started forming it with my hands, and I eventually got the shape that I needed. I think I ended up making too many, but I'd rather have too much than too little, so after those were all dry, I painted them gold so they could match everything else and started assembling. To say that this necklace was tedious would be such an understatement. There was so much trial and error, and I definitely know if I ever have to remake this what I'll be doing different next time, especially with the sizing. This centerpiece right here was a pain. I ended up having to make it twice after redoing all the gold flakes and everything, just for the original to end up fitting better in the test run. So like I said, just be patient, keep going, it's okay, things happen, and because the method I use is so simple, it was really easy to just make another one. Unfortunately, there were a few shapes and sizes of beads that I just couldn't find anywhere online, so I did just use polymorph, shape them the way I needed them, and then I took some wire and poked a hole through them. That way I can thread the wire and string through them so I can complete the necklace. I needed some vampire fangs for this project, but I was not interested in buying the cheap looking ones online, so shout out to TikTok for showing me how to make vampire teeth out of polymorph. I will do this for all of my future cosplays. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to the arm sleeves and the wrist cuffs. The wrist cuffs and the arm tools had to be the easiest parts of this cosplay. I just grabbed my EVA foam and my foam clay and got to working, added some zippers on here, kept them lightweight, went ahead and used tester painting for them to add that nice metallic feel. I used both a gold and a brassy color for depth, and they came out great. Now you can buy an arm chiffon tool online, but I decided to make my own with some black fabric and stretchy cord, and then I sewed in some pearls so they look just like the ones from the movie. There are so many different makeup looks for this cosplay. I didn't realize how many different lip colors, eye colors, eyeshadows she had going on, so I just chose my favorite and went with that, and then I decided to go ahead and do my test run because I was getting so anxious. For any of y'all that have read the novel, she's supposed to almost glow and be shiny, so I wanted to have a golden glowy sheen to my skin, so I tried to replicate that the best of my ability. This was just a little test run. I did not fasten the necklace, so it's just kind of hanging there. Just wanted to make sure that everything was in place and looking the way that it should be before I decided to finish it up. I love the way the colors popped. I love the way my hair turned out, the makeup, everything. Everything was just perfect for me. Now, I do want to say this. I obviously don't look like Aaliyah. Those are super big shoes to fill. I could never, but I do hope that I was able to do her justice with this cosplay so far. With that being said, we'll be moving on to the chest piece. I was so worried about how I was going to pull this off because Aaliyah is thin, slender, petite. As you can see, just absolutely stunning. With her slim build, that chest piece almost melts into her. It looks like it's a part of her. She needs no straps and no support. Meanwhile, me, I couldn't be more opposite. Your girl is thick, and at any given time, it looks like I'm smuggling melons, and I need all the support I could get. Unfortunately, I did have to change the way these were styled because I needed full coverage and support. Because I needed to get these done quickly, I just used foam clay and EVA foam, but I will definitely do these different in the future. Now we are moving along to the skirt, and once again we're going to rinse and repeat with this method as well. We got lots of EVA foam, foam clay, gold paint, but this time we're using lots of beads, and I try to make the pattern as close to the original as possible, and I think I nailed it. Because I wasn't happy with the way that I finished the skirt, I won't really show too much more on how I created it because I think I'm going to go back and change it. But there's these cute little purple seashells like in between each of these golden pieces. I decided to make a crap ton and have it go from the length of the belt all the way down to the floor instead of making it a complete replica like the original cosplay. I don't like it. It was heavy, made a lot of noise. It just didn't give the look I was looking for. So I did go ahead and decide to scrap it, which is no big deal. You'll still see it in this video. But if I have to wear this skirt again, I do plan on taking off that front panel and making it more movie accurate. Even though I wasn't a big fan of the seashells, they do match the bralette and it pulls everything together. Although there are a few things I don't like about this cosplay, there are way more things that I absolutely love about it. So please keep in mind that this is still trial and error for me. I am new when it comes to cosplay, but I do enjoy it and I hope that you guys do too. I try to show you guys in my tutorials that I'm human, I make mistakes, and this can be a little frustrating, but if you keep at it, the finished look is always rewarding.